Where the fuck am I? It's always some weird shit.
Great question.
Always some weird shit.
It's always some weird shit.
It's Symphony.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Symphony. Symphony Entertainment Gaming and Arts is my gaming company that focuses on horror systems, indie games, organic content, and player agency in an attempt to bring a symphonic approach to horror role playing. I am your host and your storyteller, Bridgett, and this evening we are back with Sanguine Arch, Symphony's very first Vampire the Masquerade game that takes place in modern nights here in Columbus, Ohio. We only have one announcement tonight, and that's Symphony Entertainment does have a Patreon. So if you like this content, you would like to engage with this content more, you would like to influence this content, or you just want to keep it going, please consider backing us on Patreon at patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. Red lines have been discussed with the cast and crew. The X card is in play. X's can be sent via private message, or they can be sent visually where we can see them. If a safety tool is enacted, there is no judgment passed and no questions asked. We will also be using the yellow, red, green traffic light methods, which can be called by any cast member at any time. Without further ado, let us unveil this cast. Cast members, please introduce yourselves. Tell us where you or who you are, where people can find you, and the character that you're playing. And we are going to start with Tracey.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tracey. I am from Columbus, and I am excited for this next episode of Sanguine Arch. You can find me on all social media as Mythical Magpie. Thanks.
Amazing. Who are you playing really fast to?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good.
I'm playing Rosalia Lombardo, called Leah.
Perfect. And then next up in our order, I think we drop down to Doc.
Hi, everybody. I'm Doc. You can find me at my Linktree, linktree.com/DocBones, or at a variety of Discord servers, especially the Symphony one. I'm pretty active on there. And today I am playing Connor Rowe, the Ventru.
Flawless. Next up is going to be Tiffanie.
Hi, I'm Tiffany. You can find me at Color Cat Designs on most social media. Um, I have been in another vampire game on the Old Ways podcast. Tonight I am playing Ivy, which is Banu Hakim.
Flawless. And last but totally not least, Carl, tell us who you are, where people can find you, and who you're playing tonight. And also welcome. It's so good to have the whole cast together for once.
It's good to be here.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. I'm Carl. I am the digital asset manager at Symphony Entertainment, and that's basically where you can find me. Um, I make a lot of the content, and I'll be editing this. So if I screw this up, I'll just go ahead and re-record it later. Um, I'll be playing Kevin Mercer, the Bruja.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Guys, welcome back to Sanguine Arch, a modern tale of personal and political horror for Vampire the Masquerade, again, taking place in modern nights in Columbus, Ohio. Ivy, please present our chronicle tenets.
Never endanger or betray the domain. Our community is stronger together. Unapolog- Unapologetically defend the traditions. They keep us safe. Ambition is rewarded. Liabilities are destroyed.
One personal development note to share with our viewers and our listeners. The cast has made the decision to make Ayin Mohammed, the new principal of faith, a party touchstone. Kevin, you've spent some time reviewing the dossier that Odex gave to you. Gave to you is probably an extension, a creative extension of that word. You paid exceptionally well for the dossier that you have and the information that you've recently gained. You've spent some time going through a thorough deep dive into the personal life of your sire, Celeste. I'm curious, Kevin, as you are metabolizing this information, as you're navigating all of these discoveries, intimate aspects of her life that include her touchstones, her convictions, stories about her childhood and her past that she hasn't even shared with you. What items in particular stick out to Kevin?
Her involvement in a lot of the major scientific breakthroughs in the 20th century, um, particularly her involvement with the Manhattan Project, the space race, a bunch of other things. I'm particularly taken by the idea that she is loving being a scientist and sees that as the way forward for vampire society rather than the mysticism of the past. And I also really appreciate that um, Kevin didn't really know um, how many children she had.
Mm-hmm.
He assumed that she had more than one, but she never told him about any brothers or sisters he might have. He appreciates the level of care and time she took to choose Kevin as a potential childer.
I have a rather intimate question for you here, Kevin.
Sure.
How did it feel when you read that you were one of her touchstones?
I was flattered, and it's one of the things that made me have a genuine reaction to tell her that I had uncovered the information. Tell her
Hmm.
why I went looking for it in the first place, but that was a moment where I realized that to have a connection that deep to me meant a level of trust that I didn't know previously existed. And I wanted to show appreciation and reciprocation for that.
That's a fair articulation. Knowing what you know now, Celeste would likely be an exceptional primogen. She'd be a good representative for your clan. She'd be a great council leader here in the Columbus domain. You also learned some additional information about the way Prince Nia Glass executes her court. You
Mhm.
know that every officer that she accepts, she binds them by blood. Now, that's not public knowledge. Some know it, most don't. The Nosferatu obviously have their nose on that particular line of information. When you presented that information to Celeste, did you anticipate that she would immediately turn this opportunity down, or did you anticipate the response she gave you where she would accept this bond but attempt to negotiate out of it if she could? Did that surprise you that she was willfully willing to surrender her emotional control like that?
No, because I think it's one of those things where by now Kevin, like, they're not close, but they have worked together. They do,
Mm-hmm.
they do share. I think his understanding of Celeste is such that once she became aware of this, she probably sat down and had a good long night or two to think out the possibilities. And so
Mm-hmm.
if she's potentially willing to take the bond, she must think that the reward is worth the cost.
It's very close to the words that she stated to you. Well said. Well said. You left that meeting with Odex with more questions than answer, but you definitely received at least some directionality on ways that you can explore, things to investigate, or at least things to make note of. And I'm just going to rearticulate some of those now. Why did Prince Neoglass immediately reinstitute the Office of the Scourge as her very first office appointment? She cleared almost everyone else. She doesn't want a second. She doesn't want a seneschal. She wiped all her primogen. She allowed her sheriff to be killed, but she immediately appointed a Scourge, which isn't even an office that's active in Camarilla Knights anymore. Her second appointment was that principal of the faith. You got a brief pending file on her. Some woman from NOLA. That was her
Mhm.
second actual appointment. Other questions that demand at least some curiosity. Why does she put a thin blood under the accounting? Why is she blood bonding each of her officers? Why does she sweep her entire Primogen Council?
Mhm.
Why were the first three people that she sent to the principal of the faith this Ivy, this Banu Hakim, who's dripping in current scandal? She's absolutely the talk of the town at the moment. Leah the Thin Blood, which is almost ranking as high on why is a Thin Blood under the accounting. Why wasn't it destroyed with the rest of the ones that were found in that nest? And then Connor the Ventru, which is, at this point, stale scandal. 30 years under the accounting. It's not even fun to talk about anymore. At this point, it's just sad. And most importantly, what does Prince Nia Glass want? These aren't easy questions. These are complicated questions. These are questions that you're going to have to spend time. You're going to have to interview. You're going to have to hunt these items down. If you can produce some valuable results. This will very likely aid Celeste in her bid for Primogen.
Mhm.
You need to hit the streets.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You need to find Ivy. You need to find Leah. You need to find Connor. The Ivy one is going to have some challenges because Banu Hakim already don't like to talk. That's just a challenge, especially if you don't have an in or a reason to actually court with one of them. And the other two are under the accounting. Before you interview them formally, you should be talking to their accounters. There are ways around that, but still, there are challenges. The one lead you have for sure is this Ayan Mohammed. You at least have her address and you understand her appointment. The night is late at this point, but first thing tomorrow evening when the sun sets, that might be a good point to start with. Where am I wrong? Where am I right? How do you feel about that?
I think all good. I think the only other thing that's kind of burning up the back of my mind is why did Odex effectively give me some information for free, warning me not to ask about Mr. Prim? Other than that, yeah, I'm very curious about the all of the three people for various different reasons, and
Mm-hmm.
it's clear to me from reading the dossier that there's some connection here. It kills me that I can't see it yet. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and kind of I'm gonna kind of mind map it out before
Mm-hmm.
I fall asleep for today. But I think the strongest starting point is that trying to see what's going on with the principle of faith.
Perfect. Kevin, you can feel that yawn building directly beneath your jaw as the sun is beginning to rise and you're beginning to power down. Your mind is moving 1,000 moments in 1,000 directions. I should say at the speed of light as it threatens to shut you down, to sever any connection you have with thought or the ability to control anything. Rest is important, and your curse no longer allows you to see the sun. But just as you're getting ready to fall asleep, you receive a notification on your cell phone.
Okay. Take a look.
It's a calendar alert. Someone has put an event on your calendar. The location is Mikey's Late Night Pizza Slice on
Hmm.
the corner of High and Fourth. This is in downtown Columbus. It's directly across the street from the Greater Columbus Convention Center.
Hmm.
They're known for their oversized New York style pizza slices sold by the slice, their hooch, quirky specials. This is like one of those dive type of locations where they have the pumps that give you like the hot mess sauce
Oh
or
yeah,
unlimited ranch or unlimited garlic sauce or whatever the fuck unicorn sauce is.
Oh
It's
hell
actually really good.
yeah.
It's one of those things. But they're known for their delicious pizza, their quirky atmosphere, and the fact that they stay open until 3 a.m. in the morning. This meeting is set for 2 days from now. So not tomorrow when you wake, but the night after at 1:30 a.m. And it's from Maria de la Cruz.
Oh shit. Okay.
She tends to be forward this way. She didn't call and ask you if you could meet her.
Hmm.
She didn't send you a text. She just lets you know where you're going to be expected. That's
All right.
pretty standard for Maria. Last question for you here, Kevin. You saw Maria a few months back. It might be a year by this point. Time starts to get kind of weird for you in the way that you see it. That kind of happens with immortality. So maybe a year ago, maybe less. She was passing through Columbus. How did that last meeting with her go?
Awkwardly. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the the chemistry is still weirdly there, but there's been a lot of time and distance between it. And to add the fact that it's been 25, close to 30 years, and I mean, she's pushing late 40s, early 50s at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And he still kind of looks like he's just out of college.
Yeah.
Um, she is getting, but little snippets. Like he always takes efforts to show up unexpectedly or, be in a dark corner, that sort of thing. But too much time has passed. He didn't cut the cord quickly enough, and she's said a couple of things the last couple of times they've met that makes me think she's getting a little bit close to the truth. She's not
Well,
quite there yet, but
she's knocking on that door.
yeah.
You know it's a risk to see her, right? One could
Yeah.
even argue you're threatening to breach the masquerade by continuing any type of contact with this woman.
One could argue that, but no one's found out yet. So I'll wait till someone actually argues it.
That is going to work out so great for us, Carl. I'm so excited for everyone involved right now. Tiffany's face. So, Maria, you meet with her not tomorrow, but the night after at 1:30 a.m. Curious time.
I think the last thing he thinks before he goes to sleep is, God damn it, why now? Oh, it never rains, it pours.
Always, always, always. Ivy, Connor, and Leah. You are throwing me rouse checks as you wake up in a house that's not yours. We're going to go in 3, 2, 1. The storyteller has thrown paper.
Leah threw scissors.
Connor threw rock like a dumbass.
Ivy threw paper.
Okay. Leah, you succeeded. So you have no issues with your rouse check. You are good to go. Tiffany, you and I tied.
Yes, correct.
Okay. You have no issues coming in whatsoever. And Connor, you failed. Which means you are waking up with some... Connor, that's strange. You're not waking up hungry. When your eyes blink open, you know that the sun is set, and you recognize weirdly that you should be hungrier, but something is off. You're not hungry. It feels like you succeeded where you should have failed. Let me correct that statement. It feels like you succeeded where you did fail. What the hell is it about this house? Or more importantly, what is it about that woman, and where is she? The three of you awake in the living room, one of the living rooms of Ayin Muhammad, the principal of faith, and your new shiny touchstone. Going around the table very quickly, I want you to describe to the audience what seed packet each of you have received. Leah, what seeds do you have?
I received a packet of coneflower seeds. They are native to Southern Ohio, and they were something that would be easy to separate and continue to propagate. So it's something that we had access to. And if we had a couple, we could make a couple grow in our yard.
Perfect. Ivy, which seeds did you receive?
I got amaranth, which is also called love lies bleeding. And she doesn't know if she wants to have a tantrum or if she wants to plant them.
That's a valid pendulum swing. Connor, which seeds did you receive?
I received birds of paradise.
Hmm.
It's easy to propagate from seeds as long as you crack them open before you plant them. And with this packet, I just know I'm sending some to my daughter with a note of not to lose herself in her work.
And while we're there in that intimate moment of vulnerability, Connor, tell us your convictions.
My convictions are never endanger a member of your crew, kill only in honorable combat, and always show courage.
Ivy, who may throw a tantrum or may plant these seeds, what are your convictions?
Mine are take down your target and punish the guilty.
And Leah, what are your convictions?
Mine are always defend the helpless, never start a fight, and always initiate with trust.
The three of you shared something last night. It's difficult to articulate, but something has shifted. You can feel that organically. You can feel that environmentally. You can feel it emotionally. Something has shifted. You don't know what that means. You don't know where that goes. But for right now, the three of you awake on a floor that's not your own comfortable floor, looking at each other and reading your seed packets.
Is our hostess in the space with us, or is it just the three of us?
It's just the three of you. You don't know where Ayan Mohammed is. Perhaps she sleeps elsewhere in the home. Perhaps she doesn't sleep here at all.
I'm gonna tuck the seed right into my jacket and try not to make it look like I have anything in there. So like really quick, just tuck them in because I don't want to talk about that to these strangers. But I'll
And
watch them, see if they also have seed packets.
Mm-hmm.
Hers is clenched in her fist, like closed. Like she's yeah, like white knuckling them.
I think Leah will speak first because clearly the two of them are holding tight and not wanting to share. And while she doesn't necessarily want them to share, she doesn't want to make a mistake. So she will look to probably Connor first, but then realize that the person who has the most standing in the room is actually Ivy, and just say, "Are we supposed to plant those here? Do you think that's what she wants us to do?"
I don't know, and frankly, I don't really care.
There has to be a reason that she called the three of us. There's got to be something that the domain wants from us. I just want to make sure that I don't make a mistake.
When you say mistake, you see a flash across my face that I have not checked in with Mr. Prim.
Well, you're going to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And you're going to live with them forever.
You're Ivy,
Yes,
Miss Ivy. I
just
can't.
Ivy.
I can't make mistakes. I think it's pretty obvious. I'm sure it's no secret who I am and what I am. I can't afford a mistake. I don't get. I got a second chance, and this is it.
Right, which means there's a reason. Tell me why you don't see any other like you, especially around us. There's a reason. So you can make mistakes. They're not going to end you because if they were going to, they would have. And I would know.
They should have.
There is absolutely not a chance she doesn't immediately look over to him with hurt. And then her face softens and she looks at whatever injury he may be sporting that's visible this time. His cheek.
Still the busted cheekbone.
Yeah.
I've been absent-mindedly nursing it as you're talking about making mistakes the whole time.
Is that the life you were promised? She says right to Connor.
What do you know about the life I was promised?
I know that Edmund promised me. And Edmund is Ventrue. And your sire is Ventrue.
Yeah.
Edmund would never.
Mr. Prim made me a promise 30 years ago. He hasn't broken it, so I haven't broken my end of it.
But he's breaking you. And the second she says that, I think she understands that that was too much, too quickly. And I think for a moment she just looks mortified for herself.
I wanted to fix this cheekbone I could. Because I can actually rouse my blood.
I'm sorry, that was uncalled for, and I'm sorry. I just can't imagine that this is a universal method. My experience with Edmund was very brief, and maybe I didn't see all of him that there was to see. Of course I didn't.
It's fine. Just, I don't want to talk about it.
I'm sorry.
So why don't you two go run along and answer to your masters, and I'll figure out what's going on.
And that is a perfect moment for me to tee in Kevin. Kevin, how do you arrive to the home of Ayan Mohammed? I won't give you a redescription because eventually you'll see it in a previous episode.
Oh, cool.
But north side of Columbus, mid-range income. We're talking like a neighborhood income that's averaging 60 to 80,000. She's at the bottom of a cul-de-sac, single driveway, 4-story split house. But you do recognize that this is the address that has populated and has been given to you, and that there are, I believe, just 2 vehicles parked outside right now. If I remember correctly, Connor spun into his place. Ivy drove, but I believe Leah walked. Yeah, so there are 2 vehicles right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, kind of as we've covered before, Kevin still has enough of the academic and the college kid about him that he just walks everywhere. It's also way easier to avoid cameras and heat sensors and everything. So he's probably he probably will have taken a train nearby, maybe a cab to get close. And then just, walk down the shadowy parts of a suburban neighborhood. Because from a distance, he just looks like a, kind of disheveled college kid in a faded black tee. He blends into almost any situation you could think of.
Perfect. So you commission either a cab or a ride share, an Uber, Lyft, something a few blocks away, and you're able to walk down to the bottom of this cul-de-sac and you see the home standing before you. You don't see a whole lot of activity inside. There are lights on in a few of the windows. You're assuming maybe those are the upstairs bedrooms, and split level homes, part of it is beneath the ground. So, but you're not seeing any major activity. It looks like an idle house at the bottom of a cul-de-sac.
Very nice. I have something of an odd question, actually.
Oh, I like odd questions. Those are usually fun.
Is this how? So I don't actually know how this works, so I'm curious. I took the drawback folkloric block, and I took the standard, I have to be invited somewhere.
Okay.
Is this enough of a home in the magical or mystical sense that someone would need to actually let me in?
Absolutely. You can knock on the door. You can request entry, but you need permission. You need to be invited.
Okay. I mean, it's polite.
Into a dwelling.
It's polite to do anyway.
It really is the polite thing to do, really, anyways.
It really is. This is someone's house, so I will.
Tiffany's like, you sure? Yeah, this is someone's house. It's somebody's home. This could be someone's haven.
It could be. Yeah. I don't want to go traipsing through someone's backyard with my big clodhoppers. So I will knock politely on the door.
Beautiful. So right around the time we get how about you 2 puppies run home to your masters, and I'll figure this out. This entire area is startled by a knock on, which you can tell is probably the exterior front door that's coming from above you.
I pull out my knives.
Okay.
I position myself with my back to a wall.
Because I always trust people, I just go to the door.
Stunning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Plus, I'm the most expendable. So if something is bad, I know.
But you are a thin blood, so.
Exactly. No, she knows. She knows.
Sacrifice the rat.
She kind of sees. You call me a rat again. So she hears there's a knock. She sees both of them like ready positions and ready to fight. And kind of looks around and goes, I'm the red shirt. I guess I'm gonna go open
Yeah.
the door. So yeah, she'll go up and open the door.
Oh, I love it. Leah, you go up all of 6 stairs. It's a split level house. It looks like if you're looking at a 4-level split, you're maybe on level 3. So you're able to come up into another living room area, which is interesting. This one has like the oversized, thick, comfy sofas, but there's no television. There are other instruments of meditation, but it looks like this room is more art focused. So there's like watercolors and there's paint and there's drying canvas, and it looks like whatever work was done, there's that, what is it called? The black garbage bag sheeting all over the floor. That's what your feet are crunching through. And it looks like some type of spilled paint activity is drying or has been drying. And it looks like either she's been busy or there's a group here. Some type of art therapy was happening here. It feels like it runs parallel to the experience you had outside with the garden. It's just a different medium. And you're able to take all of that in, and you go to the front door and you open it and you see Kevin. Now, I will say this much. Leah, with the few times that you have been around a gathering, you probably have recognized this face. You know of Kevin, but you don't know him for sure. And before we even get to the very first hello, Carl, we have to bring you up to speed with an exercise that we did in episode 2.
Okay.
What would our fellow kindred know about Kevin? What do we know about, what would they specifically know about Kevin?
So they would know that he's a part of Vampire Society. He's been at most of he's at every required gathering, and a couple of the non-required ones. They would probably know that he helped set up the early alert system.
Okay.
That is actually like, since I got an actual status bump from that is actually
Correct.
something he'd be very proud of.
Well said. And it's something that former Prince Yu would have articulated at an open gathering when he called you up and gave you that status. So
Yes.
it is known that you worked with you're the Bruja that worked with the Nosferatu to actually set up this emergency beacon.
Yep, and I got the supportive tag out of that.
Yep, you got the supportive moniker for that one. You got that is your status. Now, the rest of the table, you also know that his sire, Celeste, is a member of society. She's typically quiet. She keeps by herself. But anyone that has like more than 2 or 3 points in awareness, I'll give you this as a default. Despite the fact that she's rarely around Kevin, you can recognize a helicopter parent right there on the fringes. So if you have a 3 or a higher or a 2 or a higher awareness, I'll give you that for free. If you watch them interact, she is very intentional about not being intentional about how much she's watching her child. He's acknowledged with his own status. All right, table. You guys know how this works. I'm going to start with... I'm going to go backwards from the way that we've been airing. So I'm actually going to start with Ivy. Ivy, what's a rumor that you have heard about Kevin?
Ooh. You know what? I would think it would be strange that she actually hasn't heard much. And part of it is probably because she's had her head so far up Angel's ass that she had no idea what he's doing.
Okay. Pushback question. Angel is Bruja. At some point, he probably would have mentioned something about his clanmate. What is something, if you're going back through the Rolodex of your memory and you're thumbing through tabs, what's something that Angel possibly said in passing as he was walking through your back kitchen door, throwing his duffel bag on the table and getting ready to pin you against the refrigerator?
About Kevin?
About Kevin,
Okay.
about his clanmate.
Oh, probably that he was like wicked smart and not at all what people expect him to be.
That is valid. Connor, what's a rumor that you've heard about Kevin?
I've heard plenty about Kevin from Mr. Prim. Notably that with this emergency alert system that he works out with the Nosferatu, that he's also using it as a way to track the kindred. If they're all connected to be reached out at once, well, who's to say that there isn't a back door built in that he knows where any kindred is at any given time?
I like that.
Kevin having
perfect.
a back door into the emergency alert system, because everyone knows you can only trust Ventru.
Hmm.
Barf.
Yep, that's going to work out for the world. I know it. And Leah, what rumors have you heard about Kevin?
So Leah has a different take on some things. She
Mm-hmm.
notices that his sire is hovers. She also knows that the Bruja tend to be the ones with the tempers. So what she has heard is that he appears to be really quiet and reserved, but she is keeping an eye on him because there is something that might just explode. And so she is the one that is helping keep him even keeled.
Ooh. And that pending explosion, that ticking time bomb, that volatility is what's standing between or standing behind a screen door for you right now.
Oh, um,
Evening.
good evening. I don't know where Miss Muhammad is. Were you supposed to be? I'm sorry. I'm Leah.
Yeah, Kevin, how are you this evening?
I don't know. It's Mr. Kevin. She says to the people who she knows are armed for bear behind her.
Yep. Mr. Sorry, just Kevin or Kev.
Um, she'll open the door and just kind of wait because essentially she's used to being a servant. So she kind
Yeah.
of opens the door and gets out of the way.
Oh, may I come in?
I don't see why not. It's not my place, but I will look back to Ivy and Connor.
Thank you.
I'm not
She,
armed. I'm just
she's
watching to keep tabs on the whole situation.
So you
Ivy's
come
one who's
upstairs to
like,
watch?
Ivy is strapped to like jump this guy. I'm just
Ready to go.
watching.
Yeah, like daggers ready to go. So just clarifying, Ivy and Connor, are you guys coming upstairs?
Yes.
Oh, I was right behind Leah.
Okay, perfect.
So probably when I see him, I start like putting the
Putting them
knives
back.
away. Yeah.
Okay.
when Leah says, "I don't see why not," that's when he steps over the threshold.
Okay. What does that feel like to be denied entry until something supernatural allows your blood to cross the threshold? Is it like sitting at the top of a roller coaster waiting for that drop? Is it like drowning? Like, what is that sensation like?
It's not nearly that thrilling. It's almost like you just have this overwhelming desire not to. Um, and
Mm.
if you try, like, your limbs just kind of they don't work. He's tried it several times with several different levels, and he's been able to get into certain places. But when something is a home and when people live there and they consider it theirs, he has a hard time going into that without actually being invited in. And he knows that that's not something that's normal for Kindred. It's not even something that Celeste
Hmm.
has. He's not sure why he ended up with that.
But it's what you have.
Hmm.
But you don't feel that deadening feeling now.
No.
You've been invited into the home.
Yeah. Thank you. Do you happen to know when Miss Muhammad will be back?
I think we fell asleep here last night and I haven't seen her since.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Who's we?
She'll move out of the way because she has no place in introducing Kindred.
Ivy,
Oh,
Connor's down there.
Connor. Connor. Oh,
Row.
Connor Rowe. Gotcha.
And I'll walk out from where I was standing. Just hi.
Hey, nice to meet all of you. Actually, not to be weird about it, but I've been looking for you.
Ivy gets like real sus.
Yeah, I can see it on Tiffany's face. Tiffany was like,
Is it the beckoning? Is it over?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. It's not about that. But I don't think so. I feel like feel like that being over would be worth an Elysium being called. I feel like when that stops, we'll all know.
Why are you looking for us? Shouldn't you be looking for Mr. Prim?
Why would I look for Mr. Prim?
Well, you clearly know that I'm still under his accounting.
Well, yeah, but doesn't mean I don't want to talk to you.
And you can just see, this does not compute.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a little bit of, well, I'm being honest. I've got threads that are not making sense about what's going on in this city. And I think some of you are holding the other end of those threads.
Okay, you have my attention.
There's something big going on in Columbus.
Big. Like what? I mean, what's bigger than the information we just got? What was that? A couple weeks ago.
I mean,
The Chantry in Vienna fell. What does that have to do with Columbus?
I I think for a second Leah looks at both of them because she thinks they can't be telling the truth because there are so many little things that have added up to a question mark. And if anybody knows, it's got to be a Ventru or a Banu Hakim.
Mm.
And I think for a second she's just trying to understand what is happening right here, right now in this room.
Well, I'll give you a perfect example. It's not exactly common in our society for us to even allow thin bloods to continue. Not, no offense at all intended. So why is she suddenly under the accounting? And why is she under the accounting to, I believe, the new Scourge? Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're not wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, an office that we haven't seen in, oh, I don't know, a really long time.
The first office appointed by Mia when she took over.
Maybe Justice wanted a puppy.
If
He
just
doesn't seem like the puppy type.
I've gone shooting with Justice, he taught me how to shoot. I not he's not a puppy guy. Weirdly a cat person.
Do we um do you need to meet us here? Because I think Mr. Rowe and I need to go talk to some people. Can we walk and talk?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to go
It'd be
check in.
yeah, I don't want to block you from whatever you're doing, but I definitely want to talk to you guys again.
when you
I
say that, Ivy, I'm
actually
just going to cast a glance at you, just like rude. But I make sure it's not one that you would even see. It's like a brief, like she's not wrong.
all right.
Um,
How about you two go check in, and then you can meet us at X dive bar. I don't know the names of the dive bars in Columbus, but
Let's make one up. What dive bar you want to go to?
we want to go to well, there's an old one that's closed from Rockford. It was called the Rusty Nail.
Nice.
The Rusty Nail. I absolutely that Rusty Nail is a thing. Hold on. I am now adding this to the locations of Sanguine Arch document. The Rusty Nail Dive Bar. Beautiful.
and I think for a second, at the very least, of all of the people in this room, Kevin appears to be the most open and honest. And I think there is a thing inside Leah that needs that. She needs someone to be that because she is really getting sick of all of the like secrets and the cattiness and all of that stuff. Um, Mr. Kevin, I don't know your family name. Um, I don't know what I'm supposed to call you, but
Oh, it's Mercer. And like I said, just Kevin.
I think I have at least an answer for some of your questions. If, if you think my life is better spent not living, I understand there are.
Who
I
the
know
fuck would think that? I said I said that's what
everyone.
we I said that's what we usually do. I didn't say anything about whether I thought that was a good fucking thing.
Ah, everyone. Everyone thinks I should be dead.
Nah, then fuck everyone.
I don't think you should be dead. It's just that you don't have any status right now.
We'll work on that. We'll help you.
I just have responsibilities. And
I get
that's
it. I get it. And I know, again, correct me if I'm wrong. I know this is a relatively recent turn of events for you, right?
yeah.
Yeah, the early days are the hardest.
Yeah, but I can't even do what any of you do. I'm sorry. This is not about me. There are a bunch. There were a bunch the day that I was embraced. A
Uh,
bunch.
Okay.
And I'm the only one that walked out of that room.
So you
And
are special.
no,
Yeah.
no, I'm special because Mr. Edmund owed someone a favor,
And someone called that in.
a big one. And
So that means that they have to deal with you. So you make them deal with you.
What she said.
I
Why
told
would
you
they
you
want
can
to
make
deal with a
mistakes
thin
now.
blood?
but
Who would
there
want to deal with a thin blood?
Listen here, Mr. No
He-
Status.
As soon as you say that, my shoulders just like drop down and like immediately make myself smaller.
I get it. You don't understand, but she's here. She's standing. She's alive. And for as all I can tell, she's not guilty of anything.
I never said she was.
That tone of voice says just her being her makes her guilty.
Damn.
Look, I learned my lessons well from Mr. Prim, okay? You can't blame a student for following what the teacher tells them.
Kevin laughs out loud at that. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sire judging here. I'm sire judging a little bit.
You keep his name out of your mouth then.
Ugh, yeah, no, I don't talk about dirty things.
Look, I know that I don't have any status, and so my opinion doesn't mean much. But I have to believe that she brought us here together for a reason.
Well, clearly we're all broken.
What vampire isn't, though?
I don't know. Kevin seems pretty well put together.
Yeah, I put on a good show. We all
And
have our hangups.
I just I don't want this to be I don't want to detract from what should be happening. And I think she brought us together because maybe we all know a little bit about stuff that's going on now that no one's talking about. Where are the gangrel?
Well, my assumption is that they ditched as soon as they felt something come down from Vienna, once the Tremere started feeling weird or however that happened.
But you don't think one of them would have said something?
No, they don't do that. They just beat feet and they're out.
The gangrel talk to others? Oh, you must be new to this kindred society.
I am. I think that's clear, and you're not.
Yeah, the gangrel, they're not ones to stick around. Have you heard of the term canary in a coal mine?
I'm from Southern Ohio. Yeah.
I don't pretend to know you. Look, when something goes down, the gangrel beat feet. That is the first thing that happens, which means something is going down.
Seneschal. What happened?
What seneschal?
She's just blank faced when they ask about the seneschal.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, the seneschal was an office under a previous prince.
Yeah.
Still very curious where the fuck she went, but I'm not saying she doesn't matter at this point, but we're under a new praxis. it is still curious how the whole Banu Hakim went missing and just we're not addressing it.
So
Kevin, you seem like an honest fellow.
Thank you.
If you see something is happening and that we're all connected, if you don't mind me asking, how do you know?
It's a good question.
Ventru inquiry. Yeah, that is a good question. That's very Ventru right there, honey.
I would in no way compare myself to Prince
Mia
Glass
Glass?
now. But she and I think, see eye to eye on gathering and storing information. I have my ways.
I'm just gonna mutter to myself, so it is true.
What's true?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Making a note to when I finally check back in, that's gonna get reported.
So, do we want to
Snitching on everybody.
go have our conversation at this bar? They got to check in still.
Yeah. Makes total sense.
All right, we'll meet you guys there. Or do you need a ride? Are you allowed to have a car?
I have a car, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't speak for the other one.
Shit, you're muted.
And there's Bingo.
Hey, Bingo's been called. A Symphony mute. Hey.
she'll
Carl, you can totally leave that one in. That's fine. Leave that shit in.
Yep. I'm the first one who did the
Yep. Way to call Bingo. Good for you, baby.
Bingo. All right. So Leah will say, "I'm good, thanks," and then take off out and just start running, hoofing. And she
Okay.
runs like a person. Like there is no vampiric speed.
Do you want an Uber?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay.
She just hops off of the porch. And by the porch, I mean like the one concrete slab that's like the alleged stair that leads you into this house. And you're running.
Yeah, she doesn't want to owe anybody anything else right now. She can't afford it.
Okay.
As I turn to leave, I'll turn to Ivy and Kevin. It was nice meeting both of you. I'll meet you later. I'll get a little bow and extend a hand to both of them.
All right, I'll take his hand.
I will eyeball his hand and then shake it.
I'll give a little reverent bow on the way out, showing deference, even though clearly I don't trust either of you.
We don't trust you either. Anyways,
It's all valid.
so I'll turn to Kevin. So you want to just head down there now? Do you have anything else to do?
Not at the moment. Yeah, let's head on down there.
Okay.
It's good to meet you, by the way. I've heard the occasional thing about you. You've been kind of lighting up the social calendars lately.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be an interesting night.
Yeah, she'll get into her black Nissan Altima and drive down.
Mind if I ride shotgun?
Not at all.
Thank you.
And with that, the four of you leave Ayan Mohammed, the principal of Faith's home. She still isn't present. You don't know whether you're supposed to lock up on the way out or you don't have her phone number or anything. Do you leave a note like, hey, thanks for the good times? It's just you leave. Something stays of you at that house. I'm curious what that is. You all feel it. Not you, Kevin, but Ivy, Connor, Leah. Something stays at that house. Something in you. And I'm just curious to know what that is. Something of you stays behind. And remember, this is one of your touchstones. So you have a full pendulum swing of what this anchor looks like. It could be your grief, stays behind. It could be your sense of self-confidence stays behind. It could be an article of clothing. I don't care. Something. This house keeps something.
I think Ivy leaves her self-destruction behind.
I think.
Damn, I'm glad I don't have to follow that.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go back. It's not gonna be as awesome. No, I think in this space, this is the first time Kindred have looked Leah in the eyes,
Yeah.
have told her, have talked to her, and even a couple of them told her that she deserves to be here. And
Yeah.
so I think a huge part of that, I'm not supposed to survive. I shouldn't be here. I'm not worthy. I think some of that is left here.
Okay. Tracey, help me as a storyteller. How do I write that down in my notes? Because I know exactly what you're saying, but how do I type that? How do I articulate that? It's not a need to die. Absent worth?
I think the worthlessness that she felt, because
gets left behind.
There's a couple of people here that have status, that have been around. Maybe not the Ventru, but some of the other ones certainly said, you're here for a reason. Live like you should.
That's strong. Connor, what do you leave behind at this house?
Well, I was going to say the same thing as Tracy, but I have a different way of putting it. Connor leaves behind some of his fear.
Okay.
And on the drive back to report to Mr. Prim, if you'll allow me, storyteller, I would like to attempt a rouse check to heal the broken cheek.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, that's a great embodiment of that, too. Yeah. No, that is good. Let me update those notes. And we've got Leah with the worthlessness. That's actually really good. Okay. And Connor with a small deposit of fear. You ready to throw with me, babe?
Ready when you are.
All right. We're going in 3, 2, 1. Storyteller has thrown scissors.
Scissors.
Okay. Give me just a quick second here. Thank God Carl made this beautiful
cheat sheet.
How to do the thing. Carl, feel free to help me out with the rules on here. But a rouse check I'm looking at right now. On a win or a tie, you have successfully kept your hunger control. We are good to go. Thank the Lord for Carl for creating that one. So just as you get into your vehicle and you close the door and you realize that you have deposited some of your fear at that house for Ayan Mohammed to keep, whatever it is, that fear, you're able to let that go. That's hers now. And you just inherently know that that's the way this balance should be. What does this moment look like when you're behind the steering wheel of your car and you rouse your blood in defiance and heal that cheekbone?
So I get in the car, I pull the door shut, and just I sit there for a moment before turning the car on. Just thinking for a second of, what the fuck just happened? And then in my jacket pocket, I can feel that seed packet sitting there.
Yeah, the birds of paradise.
And I turn the car on, and almost mechanically knowing I have to report back to Mr. Prim. But as I'm driving in just silence, no radio, no nothing, because I'm never allowed those privileges even to know that I could listen to the radio. But as I'm driving down, I just put a hand to that broken cheekbone and I reset the bone, and then I turn on the car radio.
What do you listen to as we close that scene out on you on your way back to the offices of Prim and his tower?
Oh, it's a classic rock station. And as the car, if the camera's following the car, all you hear is the opening chords to Freebird.
Fucking dope. Fucking dope. Leah, you go and check in with Justice as well. This is more of a touch base. Hey, I made it. I'm just curious because I don't want to spend a lot of time with Bridgett role playing Prim or Justice, but I am okay if I need to, because there are going to be moments where we just need to do it in scene. There's also going to be those moments where I'm just going to like narratively gloss it, because your imaginations and the imaginations of our viewers can fill in those blanks. But I will say there are two very different types of check-in here. One, Mr. Prim absolutely knew where the fuck Connor was the entire time. The check-in is valid, is what is expected of him, but somehow Prim knew exactly where he was, exactly what was, he doesn't know what was going on. I will give you that much. There is a division of his awareness stops somewhere on the outside of that house, which is new for you, Connor. His perception, his awareness, his influence, his reach doesn't get past that woman's front lawn. But he knew where you were.
Yeah.
He was aware when you left.
He was aware when I left. And of course, I'll make sure before I even park the car, I turn the radio off before it's close enough that he would notice that I even had the radio on.
On in the first place? Yeah.
Kind of like one of those, like, the TV is still warm, but, the kids weren't watching it kind of thing.
Right. No, absolutely not. No. No, Leah, your whole situation is completely different. Justice had no idea where the fuck you were. Unless you told him ahead of time, I've gotten a summons to go see this woman. He had no idea where the fuck you are, and that was probably, a night of him looking for you?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I think, he is, I get the feeling he is a lot more hands-off than some other situations. However, he tends to go do his, let's be honest, killing. Yeah. And I tend to go and, sometimes I guess he might have errands for me. But he kind of is giving me a little bit of a wider berth than some of us here. Certainly than Celeste and Mr. Prim, for sure. That said, I probably text him on the way and say, hey, here's where I was. And I just wanted to let you know I'm alive. And what I'm really wanting to check in on is actually Gloria. So Gloria is the one who Leah feels like she still needs her help, even if she doesn't admit it.
Yeah. And
so she can check in with, even if it's a text to his pager. I think he has a pager.
Yeah, it's just a pager. Yep.
Yeah. And I think for now that would be enough for him.
Yeah.
But Gloria, she thinks, is the one who she really needs to check in on.
What does that look like, checking in with Gloria? Is that a phone call? Is that a text?
No, I don't think that if she texted or called, I don't necessarily think that Gloria would answer. I think if she told her she was coming, she would tell her not to bother. So I think it's just a surprise visit. Okay. And she would probably be hoofing it. And then you guys might even have driven past her running on your way out.
I really like that image of you guys driving up this residential street and the thin blood is just outside the damn car running.
Yeah. But
guitar solo blaring from the car. Drives right by.
She's running.
But I think that she would literally do that thing that you've seen in TV and books, where she would find a garden that might have some spring flowers or whatever season it's in, some flowers, and literally just pull them out or cut them and bring flowers to her, just so that there's an excuse. There has to be some kind of excuse to be like, hey, I stopped by to bring you this. Do you need anything while I'm here?
I love that. Tracey, I don't want to leave that unresolved, so I would really love to do that scene briefly here. I think this would be a good time for us to split screen, because Connor, I'm not going to do the Mr. Prim scene with you. We've already resolved that. He knew where you were were able to check in, you're still released to your own recognizance. He wants all the data, he wants all of the reporting. You failed him 15 ways from Sunday. We get it. We know. I will say this much. He clocks the healed cheek, but he doesn't respond to it. And you don't know whether that's a good thing or whether tonight you're going to sleep with 2 broken cheekbones. That pendulum could swing depending on how he feels when you come home tonight.
That tracks. That very much tracks for what we know.
Yeah, he just doesn't.
We being the two of us, not them, the we us.
Yeah, he just doesn't respond to it. So let's really fast hop over to Tiffanie and Carl. Tiffany, you teed up this delicious location, this Rusty Nail Dive Bar. I'm going to put it on the west side of Columbus because that's what feels authentic to me. Tell me what the Rusty Nail looks like, what the vibe is, whether or not you guys are going during opening hours or whether this is after the bar has long closed. Just give me an idea of what you guys are walking into here.
Um, I would think that it's, during bar hours so that we can
Okay.
get lost in the back. It's probably a place that she goes to quite regularly, so she usually
Okay.
has a table that's like in the back, but it's not like a big one. It's like one of those little, round ones with the
Yeah.
stools and whatever. Um, and it is like a bar that has been around too long, like from the 80s, with like brown linoleum, and like
Yeah.
the wood on the bar is just like rubbed, and it's like everything is like sticky. Like if you go and
Yep.
touch the bar top, it's like it's still sticky. You see people wiping it, but it's still sticky kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that are there are um you know, probably bikers or
Mm-hmm.
alcoholics. Like they're always just like way too drunk and way too loud, which is why it's perfect because nobody's going to pay attention to the conversations you're having, how many drinks you've had, that kind of thing. Also, the drinks are
Yeah.
like super cheap. So, but you also can't get a lot of mixed drinks because they don't have a lot. It's shots or tap.
Oh, that's so perfect. Great descriptive work, by the way, Tiffany, because I know exactly the bar we're going to. I can see it, smell it, taste it. It's on my skin and it's in my hair that I need to wash out when I leave. Yep, I'm absolutely, yep, yeah, I've heard. Okay, that is what you, Ivy, and Kevin walk into. Ivy, as soon as you walk in, waddling past you is one of the most diligent servers that you have ever known in the history of the, what is this one called again? The Rusty Nail? Yeah, of the Rusty Nail Dive Bar. She's pregnant now. Give her another 2 months and she's going to be pregnant again. That is just her. That's just her vibe. So she waddles by. As she looks to you, she's wearing like a super tight, long sleeve blue shirt. So we've got the big pregnant boobs and the big belly. Looks like she could drop at any time. But let me tell you, she doesn't drop a single drink, a tip, or a moment in time. That woman stays on it. Let me tell you, Elizabeth stays on it 100%. And she waddles by you and she goes, "Hi, Ivy. Same table."
Yep, as always.
And she doesn't even motion to it. She doesn't even look at it. And she just keeps walking. She's like, "Same thing as usual."
Yeah, make it 2, please.
That stops. She stops. And she looks over her shoulder and she sees you, Kevin.
Howdy.
And she looks to Kevin and she looks to you and she looks to Kevin
She
and she looks to you.
she
And there's a go ahead, go ahead,
no,
go
no,
ahead.
no, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
No, no, you're good, you're good. So she looks to Kevin, she looks to you, she looks to Kevin, she looks
She
to you,
she
and one of two things is happening.
she looks at Kevin, and Kevin kind of is decently observant. He picks up on what she might be thinking, and he just cocks an eyebrow to like let her think that yes, that's exactly what's happening.
Um, it takes a minute for Ivy because obviously, like, that's not what she's thinking. And then she's like, and then just keeps walking. Like her face is like, no,
Elizabeth doesn't say a word. She waddles her happy behind right past the bar to go ahead and get your standard order ready. And the two of you are able to sit down at that back table.
It's a cozy little spot you got.
Yeah, I mean, the people here are usually too busy with themselves to pay attention to anything else.
Makes sense. Oh, so what's your usual?
Oh, I don't even remember at this point. I I think it might be whiskey shots.
Okay. Nice. Ah, what quick small question for me, just because I'm a little bit behind in watching the recordings. Um, what would I know about Ivy at this point? Like, I know that there's been a big there's been a big to do about her lately, but like kind of what's the 10,000 foot view
Or do you mean what's the elephant in the room?
or the elephant in the room? Yeah.
That's the good one
Yeah,
right there.
yeah.
That's the good shit.
So she dated the former sheriff for almost a year.
Oh,
Your clanmate.
okay. Oh yeah, he definitely would have heard about that.
Um, and nobody knows exactly what happened, but they know that Nia Glass approved for his destruction. Yeah, so right of destruction.
Gotcha.
Nobody knows how or why that came down. And so now there's rumors swirling on what happened.
Okay.
It's a very interesting place for you to be here, Kevin. Especially being that this is a clanmate. Angel was a good sheriff.
And before that, Ivy was her the other status she was awarded was effective because she was one of the few that they called upon to take care of situations.
Okay. So if he was the sheriff, she might be considered a deputy.
No,
No.
she
No.
didn't serve him in any official capacity.
Oh,
They were
okay.
just dating.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But this is one of those things, Kevin, I could probably affirm that either at Bruja Rants or clan meetings that you guys had or anytime you guys were hanging out, Angel consistently caught a lot of flack for being head over heels in love, whipped, turned out by a Banu Hakim. None of it was necessarily malicious coming from In-Clan, but it was an ongoing tease that he took on the face and on the chin exceptionally well. It got to the point where the jokes started coming at such an avalanche that he just started meeting them head on. And it's like, what, are you just jealous? At least mine can fight. At least mine can. I mean, it was just, so it was like, the camaraderie there. He was a good person. He was a good man. He was a damn good sheriff. He's gone now.
Yeah. I'm gonna do something a little. She's obviously got weaponry on her somewhere, or that he would have seen in the car at some point, right?
Yeah.
Actually, you would have seen it when she was at the door.
When she came
Oh
upstairs.
yeah,
Yeah. When she came out, knives out.
I like the set of knives that you had back at the house. Those are really impressive.
Thanks. Our sire had them made for us.
Very, very nice. Not my, hand to hand, not really my thing, but damn beautiful weapons.
I feel that you have to, if you're going to take something from someone like that, that you need to make it personal.
I can understand that.
And you have to have steel that will not dull.
Elizabeth waddles up and she has 2 whiskey shots in one hand. The shot glasses are clinked together and she has 2 in the other hand. The whiskey is spilling over her fingers. It's spilling over the side of the shot glass. It's spilling over her belly. It's spilling over the floor. And she just puts 2 in front of you, Ivy. She puts 2 in front of you, Kevin. And she looks to you, Kevin. She's like, do you want anything else? She hasn't given you a menu. There is no menu. There's no floor menu. There's no QR code. She hasn't handed you anything. It's almost like if you don't know, I don't know what to do to help you. It's that type of location.
Give me a burger, show it to the grill, and then bring it to me.
Okay, doll, no problem.
Thanks.
And she turns around and that was just more than enough. Doesn't ask about condiments. Doesn't ask about sides. You
Nope.
get what the fuck you get.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be a very comical looking burger.
Yep.
It'll wink at the grill and it'll come right back to you on a plate.
Kevin will take one of the things of whiskey, hold it under his nose, and just go. Nice. It's a terrible, terrible year, but I'm pretty sure they. But it is an experience.
Half the time I spill it right on the floor.
I think it probably makes it cleaner.
It might disinfect it. So
And that is a perfect time for Connor. You arrive in the parking lot of the Rusty Nail Dive Bar. Your car is for sure going to get broken into.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about him coming in a suit.
Your car is for sure going to get broken into.
of
No
course.
doubt about it.
As I pull up to this,
You might as well leave the windows down and the door open at this point. At least there won't be any damage to the vehicle.
I mean, it's not a bad idea, all things considered, but I will make sure there's nothing of obvious value visible or in the car, because I don't carry much, let's be honest. I mean,
Okay.
but I do, as I close the door and chirp the lock, in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, Mr. Prim's not going to like this. But he knows where I am, so if he had an issue, he would have said something, but at the same time, like I said, driving out listening to the radio, you know what? If he had a problem, he could have said something.
Yeah.
He knows I'm here. He knows this might be the last day we see the Mercedes. But
It is what it is.
it is what it is.
Dive Bar.
I'll even like straighten my tie a little bit as I walk in, because I'm a venture after all. And look for the other kindred that I met at the house.
As soon as you walk, I'm going to say down into the Rusty
sure.
Nail
Oh, yeah.
Dive Bar, because that feels good
This
to me.
is
That's
not a
probably one of
floor
those.
level establishment.
Yeah, this is down for sure. Feels really
There's
good.
no
You walk
natural light in
down.
this place. It hasn't seen the sun since it was built.
You're right. That feels
Live
good
here.
to me. To the Rusty Nail, a very pregnant, very tired, very annoyed, but very competent hostess, server, cook, dishwasher, cleanup, opener, close, all of it waddles by you, and she looks to you. Her eyes fall over you from head to toe. She's like, "You're looking for the bar 2 doors down. Go straight back upstairs, make a left, and it's the last one on the corner." And she walks away from you.
I'll kind of just stand there dumbstruck. And immediately loosen the tie again, realizing where I am. And I'll look for the other two. And
Yeah, no, you're able to find them. As you're looking for the other two, there's a lot of people in this bar looking at you, because they're all just like, this dumbass is in the wrong place and he's going to learn tonight.
I'll sit down next to the two of you. And as soon as she walks by, I'll just, cognac, please.
No, honey, up the stairs, make a left and go to, it's the one at the very end of the complex.
Fine. Bring me whatever whiskey you serve at this place.
Liz, honey, he's with us.
Okay, doll. If that's what you say, if that's what you want.
He'll have the regular too.
Got it, doll. And she's just going to look, and then she's going to turn around and move on about her day. Eventually, those same 2 shots of whiskey are going to come out.
Charming place you picked.
Well, before you showed up, nobody pays attention to us.
I didn't
why I
pick the
picked it.
venue. Oh, I see.
You picked your outfit.
Well, one must always dress appropriately for who they are.
Okay, wait. I am so sorry. I have to interrupt everything. Carl, don't cut it. So, viewers, we have a Zoom chat that we're talking in, right? I just want to read out loud this fucking nonsense that Tracy just typed. Doc was just like, oh, you chose your outfit. That's what Tiffany, you chose your outfit. Tracy's hoe ass like, did he though? Or did daddy? the disrespect is so delightful. Tracy, you're a terrible person. Please continue.
People keep looking at me like I'm the bitch. Come on now.
You have
Tracy is a
the
sleeper.
courtesy to say it on the recording, though. Tracy's hiding it in the chat.
I hit it in the chat. You should see the filth he has been in the entire chat.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, if you want to go back, Bridgett, before we end this for the day, we got to go back and just do a read through of all the DMs between
Oh my
Tracey and
God.
I. Holy crap!
That fucking nonsense. Tracey, I'm so sorry to interrupt the story for that, guys.
All
right.
Did he though, or did Daddy? Is the funniest fucking thing I've seen today. Sorry, please continue.
I'll
And then I'm gonna end on Tracy's scene with Gloria.
I'll just give you a look and well, I'll look at the whiskey and I will say I do have the eat food boon,
Yeah, you do.
so I will sip it and just you see the hardest swallow of like oh. And I will just set down a mostly full shot glass back on the table.
It's interesting. You take part of that shot. It's terrible whiskey. It hits your senses hard and fast. And you just get this random glimpse of Mr. Prim disheveled on a floor, one leg up, back against the wall, smelling like whiskey. And then it just blinks away.
Oh, that's cold.
You're welcome. I'm happy to help.
Well, to us, I like hold the shot glass up. And then as I go to take it, I just throw it over my shoulder.
I love the idea like there's a reoccurring splash mark on the wall when you throw it over your same shoulder every time.
As you throw it, I'll just slowly pour it onto the floor. To us.
Kevin, I have to know what you do with your drink because at this point, this is the pace of the entire campaign, how you guys handle your drinks.
Kevin is actually going to take a drink. He'll do it like a wine tasting. He'll swirl it around in his mouth, using heightened senses to actually taste all of the notes of this terrible thing. But then he will definitely go like, okay, so that's technically alcohol.
Flawless. Leah, you have an armful, a basket, a bouquet, a vase of freshly picked flowers.
Arms. I don't think I had time to run and grab a basket or a vase.
So just an armful of freshly picked flowers. These flowers are young. It's still spring in Ohio. They're, in a way, almost like you, cut too soon. And you arrive at the door. You're welcome. You're all welcome. You arrive at the front door of the mansion that you were introduced into Kindred Society at.
I knock on the door, though I know that is at this point a forethought. And then I remember I have keys.
Yeah.
So I'll knock as a courtesy. And then I take extra care, like I slide the keys in and then I jingle them extra, like for show, just to make another like, okay, I knocked and announced myself, but now you know the door's going to open. It's not just somebody off the street. And I let myself in. Miss Gloria, it's Leah.
There's no response. But as you move through the house, you recognize that there's just one room that has any type of illumination coming out of it. It's probably, what room feels good for someone sitting in their grief right now, Tracy?
I suspect she's sitting in the room with the piano that's not being played.
Oh, I really like that. So there is candlelight flickering. We know how Gloria is. Candlelight flickering out of a room. And I like the idea that this is literally just a music studio where it has various instruments, but the centerpiece is this grand piano with the lid up, the chair slightly ajar as if somebody sat in it and then just abruptly stepped away from it. I might even say it is almost at an angle, getting ready to tip over. And a few feet from it on just a long lounger is Miss Gloria. She is adorned in a long purple formal dress. It looks stunning. It's multi-layers. It's spread and spilled off over the floor. It's spread and spilled down one of her exposed hips as her knees is up. And it looks like she's on her way to a gala or a ball, but she's not going anywhere tonight. She's just sitting in that chair with her head propped up against her fist, staring at the piano. If the strings and the keys on this piano could weep, They would weep tears of vitae as Gloria is just staring at it.
She will make her way slowly into the room. Miss Gloria, it's Leah. And will immediately look to see if she's got that section of her hair that everything else is done, but that one section she just can't help from worrying it into like almost little handmade ringlets. That usually is like a determining factor on what her mood is like. And so if her hair looks still well done, I know that I still have a chance to kind of maybe help soothe her. But if it's twisted or, ratty or knotted, I know that she's been messing with it and worried and doing nothing.
Oh, this is stunning. So as you step around to get that visual gauge on your previous regnant, you got to know her pretty intimately. Well, feeding on blood will do that, but also just the time spent. And you look, and the first thing that drops your heart is just how tightly coiled that hair is right here on the inside that's cascading over her collarbone and her breast. But it has escalated to a point that you haven't seen before. The base of her scalp has blood in it, where she's been wearing at it to the point that she's actually causing herself damage.
I'll lay down the flowers. The flowers were an excuse to come in. They don't matter right now. She won't even notice them. And what I'll do is I'll look around to see if I can find a brush nearby or something that I could maybe use to kind of help, because it helps soothe her sometimes when her hair is brushed. It's been a difficult one, hasn't it, Miss Gloria?
Her eyes float over to the flowers. They float up to the piano that's not being played. When they look back at you, your car break down again? You need an advance on a loan? Why are you here? Why are you here and he's not?
I'm here because he was needed and I'm not.
He was needed here. You were needed here. And now you're both gone.
I'm not. I'm here. I'm here. I made a
Now I have a question for you. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. Go.
She was just going to say, I made a promise to you and I intend to keep it as long as I can, regardless of the state that I'm in.
What do you want, Leah?
I want to show you something. I know it's not perfect, but I've been practicing. And without much ado, she will stand up and go sit in his seat at the piano. And it's rudimentary. She's still learning, but she's learning to play. And the piano is going to sing, even inexpertly, but it's singing again for her. And it's not because she wanted anything. It's because she knew that it gave Gloria comfort. And seeing her sit here made her ruin her surprise. She wanted to wait until she was better. But she'll play a song, a simple song, not perfect, but with as much heart as she can.
And Gloria watches. And that, friends of the symphony, is where this episode ends for tonight. Thank you, everyone who is watching live or is watching the replay. You are indeed the best part of waking up. Thank you. Have a wonderful night, and we look forward to telling more stories with you again soon. Good night.